Greetings, Keishlings. Keishan Prime here with another My Hero Academia Power Up video. Today we're doing Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, or as what I would think he might be called in the future once becoming a pro, is like the Supreme Hero Deku or something like that, because, you know, living up to the legacy of All Might and becoming the new symbol of peace. It would be a befitting title, I would think, you know? But, you know, let me know your thoughts on that. But anyway, like with all power-up videos, I do equipment, general power-up concepts, super moves, and because this is my hero, we get to do Quark Evolution Theory, which might be its own video, to be honest. I have a theory brewing in the back of my brain. My brain. But yeah, to kick off equipment, I have a couple things. One of them is called the Almighty Earplugs. Yeah, I couldn't think of a better name, but hey, you know, he's a fan of All Might, and he has a lot of All Might brand stuff, so having All Might brand earplugs would work. These play a role in something later, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, they're like military grade issue earplugs that just have like All Might coloration and whatnot on them. Next is the Iron Soul heal upgrade. Okay, I either forgot about this function of his Iron Souls, but like the front portion of it where the toes are can jut out upon impact, so it gives like a double impact attack. And I was rewatching parts of the anime and I saw that and I was like, wait, what? When did this happen? And I was like, well, crap. It's like, I thought it was just the Iron Soul and that was all it was. It was just a solid metal soul onto his shoe. But I was like, okay, this is cool. How do we improve upon this? Because that's a pretty good, you know, piece of equipment. Well, add that same function onto the back of his heel. Because, you know, like, because he jumps up into the air and then brings down, like, say, an axe kick or something. Hey, that's... the heel's gonna hit you first, so why not have that? For like general power-ups, Tactician Training. He already has an analytical mind. We've seen him do this like during the sports festival, and even before that when he would just be jotting down stuff in his notebook about people's quirks and their capabilities and everything. So he already has a mind for it to like gather information. And what is the next logical step? Utilizing that information in a bigger way, which would be a tactician, a strategist. So all he needs is, like, you know, to maybe work along with the police a bit more, see how their procedures work, or get some like military like strategists involved in there to kind of learn more about the field, and then there you go. He finally has a full use of that. We've already seen it a few times in the series, but I think he could easily expand upon it to the nth degree. Next is Echolocation. This one plays a role in the first super move, but you know, echolocation, it's like what a bat uses. I've been watching a lot of Dragons or Dragon Riders of Berk, and Toothless has echolocation. Don't know how, but whatever, it looks cool. But yeah, where you can like pick up on things that are in the dark, like, you know, you like a bat, they let out a sound wave and then things bounce back and then they know, oh, there's something up ahead. Simple concept, but like I said, it plays a role in the next thing. Starting with super moves, we have the Nashville Smash. I'm a resident of Tennessee, and Nashville is always in the news, especially their hockey team, the Predators, and what they're also like Nashville is collectively known as since the Predator franchise really kicked off. They call it Smashville, so I thought this works well. It's got the whole naming an attack after a city, and the whole Smash concept. But what is Nashville most known for? It's music, aka sound. I propose that Deku, with some like muscle control exercises, if he can control his throat muscles while channeling One for All into his neck, he could emit a sound wave attack. You know, in the lieu of like maybe not as powerful as say Black Canary, but strong enough to either be a distraction or at minimum the echolocation, because that's how he would do it. So yeah, like a distraction, a full-on attack, maybe, depending on how powerful it is, of course. I mean, with One for All being the way it is, it would be pretty strong, I imagine. Even though the muscles being used are not that strong, you know. So, yeah. And plus, it gives him a hands-free, long-range, short-range attack. And he could, you know, change up how powerful it is, obviously. You know, like a 5% one for maybe echolocation, or even 1% for echolocation, and then like 10, 12% for a full-on attack. But yeah. Next up is San Andreas Smash. This is based on All Might's like California Smash, but we're going a little lower scale on it, of San Andreas the city, but mostly the San Andreas fault line that runs across like a good third, almost half of the whole state. For those not in it, you know, in the know, the fault line, basically, if it was to be triggered highly enough, yeah, it's proposed that the half of the state of California would split apart and possibly fall into the ocean. I don't know if it would be that bad, but I've heard some theories, and it don't look good for California. But yeah, this is basically a leg attack, because Deku's specialty is his legs. So basically he just channels One for All into his legs, and then he just gives a big old stomp down onto the ground, creating a massive fissure. You know, this could maybe just rattle people up if it doesn't cause the full-on fissure, if he does a weaker variant, or they fall in, and then they're easier to capture. Because, I mean, if I fell into a hole, I don't think my first intention would be like, yeah, I'm just going to keep attacking you. No, I'm going to be like, what just happened? You know, it knocks you off your guard. But yeah. Next up is the most powerful of the pure One for All attacks, because I have them in 3 sets. I forgot to mention this. This one is called Earth Smash. Yes, we have city level attack, or named attacks, we have state level attacks, and now we have the planetary level attack. This is basically Deku, if he goes like whatever level of control he has. Like right now he has close to around 20 with his cowling, but so yeah, just clack it in around 20%. He like curls up into a ball. He starts stockpiling that energy until finally just releases it out as like an air, or what do they call it? Area of effect attack, where just all around him just gets blown away. And it would, you know, as if he was a bomb blowing up the planet. You know, the thing. But yeah. Next up starts the pure Black Whip style attacks. The first one is Power Whip. This is basically taking the concept of Black Whip, where it, you know, it's a whip, but say he makes like 2 or 3 of these and then just braids them together. And then he has a really powerful Black Whip that he can just use as a melee weapon. He could get some training from Midnight, because, you know, she uses a whip in her line of work, let's say. So she could give him some pointers on so that he's just not a total, you know, wrecking ball to him and his allies, you know, and just focuses on the enemy. Next up is Smash O' Tails, a variant of a whip. This, we've seen Midnight use like a the more sexy version of it, but they can be longer. It's a 9-headed whip, basically. Well, this is inspired by when Deku first used Black Whip at all, when it just like kind of like a bunch of them came out of his arm. Well, if he does that, but like, you know, braids that many together, and then there's enough of them to form the 9 heads, you then have a very dangerous whip on your hands. Literally, because it's coming out of his hand. Da-da-da. But yeah. Next is Black Claw. This is when he... and there's a variant to this called like Black Gauntlet that he could also go for. Well, we'll do Black Gauntlet first. Black Gauntlet is basically he takes a black whip and then just wraps it around his arm. Because it seems fairly vestigial, at least by what the original user was able to kind of display in the little time we got with him. So I could see Deku kind of learning how to control its like movement and shape a bit, to where it can then wrap around forming armor. Similar in the way that that gauntlet that he got in the My Hero movie that allowed him to use, 100% power without wrecking his arm. So I could see, Black Whip performing a similar thing with the Black Gauntlet. Black Claw, on the other hand, is basically the same thing where it wraps around, but the end of the whip has now extended out from his hand, creating a blade. Think Wolverine when he flips you off. So yeah, now he's got the defense of it. He can still deliver a punch, but guess what? He's also got that blade for a slash attack. And the size of the blade can vary. Like, it can be just big enough to be like maybe not much bigger than, say, a pair of brass knuckles, or as long as a sword, maybe. We don't know exactly how long Black Whip can extend. Next is the next logical step in the Black Whip kind of armament is Black Armor. I envision this to kind of be like a mummy meets full body armament hockey, where he has, like, say he extends multiple whips from his arms and then he just wraps them around his body, creating a full body armor that, will protect him, but also give him like some level of durability when he's, using One for All, so that hopefully the recoil has lessened and all of that. Next up is Black Cage, taking the same idea from what I mentioned during like the Smash of Ninetales, with that one picture where he first used Black Whip and, all these whips were coming out of his arm. Well, picture that, except he's able to control them, and they wrap around someone, creating like the bird cage from One Piece. Doflamingo's like coup de grace attack that can destroy an island, except Deku wouldn't use it for that. He's using it to capture people, or to maybe grab multiple people, because it would be almost like a giant multi-fingered hand. So yeah, it has that, and he can restrain someone until the police arrive with proper restraining devices. Next up is a couple of attacks that revolve around using both of his known 2 quirks. The first one being Cross-Country Smash. This is inspired by Spider-Man, where like he'll use his webbing to like kind of zip line himself and pull himself, quicker, or say also like Batman when he uses his grappling hook, and he'll shoot and then it'll start retracting and he goes the distance. Well, Deku could do the same thing, because the Black Whip is coming from his body, which means it's going to retract at some point. It doesn't just fall off or deteriorate, presumably. So that's how I'm thinking this could work. He extends a Black Whip, and then he starts retracting it, and then he's either setting up a punch, a kick, or something with One for All, and then just whacks the target once he gets close enough to them. and the whole cross country name is, you know, like cross country, like the sport, or because like a cross country trip because of the whole like states and everything name. So yeah, not the best name, sorry. And finally we have the Frag Smash, which is combining black armor and Earth Smash, where he's full-bodied armored himself up, and then he, you know, gathers up all of his energy while he's clutched down into a ball, and then he releases it, except now with the armor being on him, it breaks apart, causing, like, because it's presumably made out of some kind of energy-like substance, it's going to, like, have not, like, solid shrapnel damage, but it could probably still do quite a bit of damage. It would be like a, kind of like a Byakuya and his Simbone Zakura in a way, where it's like just all of these fragments of himself being, you know, shot about. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the whole thing about Quark Evolution, which would be normally the final segment of these videos, I may just make that its own video, so stay tuned for that probably next week. And yeah. I think that's about all I have for Deku. I mean, he's already going to become an overpowered character with his multiple quirks. We just don't know what they are, so I cannot have any way of predicting what those will be. But, so I can't incorporate those into the video. But I was like, okay, what can I do for this guy? And I think I came up with some okay ideas. What do you think? But yeah, let me know your ideas on Deku, all that, and yeah. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Here's where you can find me. Links down below. I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Upload on my YouTube channel the next day in that cycle. And then, yeah. Until next time, Quiche-lings, roll out!